That was not a good situation for them. For what it's worth, Matt did what he could. I think he was able to punish Gino there a couple of times on the Bacchus, but it really wasn't a whole lot. That game got away from them in a hurry, and so they'll try and wipe the slate clean, and we can move into game number 2 for those picks and bans and see if maybe there's something they could do to pick some safer options, perhaps maybe to try and make it a little bit easier for them to get away, some picks that don't get punished so heavily in the early game. Uzzy didn't die a lot, but it's not as if he had much pressure. Mast couldn't find much room to operate either. What kind of adjustments do you want to see the Space Station team make to maybe give them some options to try and find some kind of way to slow down that snowball?
I think they just need to be better about responding to the drafts as they happen. One thing that you notice with competitive play is that a lot of teams tend to be influenced one way or the other based off of what their opposition is picking.
Hey,
and
no Pele.
when you see Armada buckling down so heavily for this early game features, I definitely think that Space Station needed some form of response, whether it came in mid lane. I know Mash tried at the very end there to bring in the Arachne, but by then it felt like too little too late.
It absolutely did. So maybe something from Space Station and get off the ground running a little bit faster, since they won't have to deal with the Pele this time. But I mean, in a game like this, it really got out of the hand so fast, right? They took a Fire Giant at 16 minutes in this game because they could. So something like a NotGeno certainly screams to me a chance to compete for that early game and prevent the snowball a little bit better. As Ratatoskr comes in, looks like they did not have a chance to grab this one for Mask. Armada make that function as their third ban almost.
It's still a flex pick though for Armada. It doesn't necessarily have to be intended for jungle. It could definitely still work in that solo lane
For
role,
Baskin,
and we've
yeah.
definitely seen Baskin pilot it a couple of times before already, so that would not strike me odd here. But the Janus return for Chapo, I do find a little bit odd here, just because they already had the NotGeno. So I don't really see it as likely for this to be a NotGeno for Mattypocket. He doesn't really tend to stray into the world of assassins. I think he prefers to keep things a little bit more traditional with these Guardian-based supports. That's why the Artio, I'm pretty sure, is intended for him. But
Right.
NotGeno, you have early game presence, and it's kind of like the Arachne. You have early game presence, but when Janus is your follow-up, I feel like that just doesn't really flow as well as like a big bursting mage might have better suited Chapo here, possibly even the Poseidon.
Yeah, it's not quite that big punishing follow-up that you think of to come on the back of a NotGeno. Janus certainly has some damage. We've seen him do plenty. It's just going to be a lot on Chapo's back to make sure that he's bringing that in enough to overwhelm Armada, as they have the Sylvanus coming through. Some easy way for them to get some pressure in the dual lane, I imagine, if that's where the Sylvanus is. It's hard sometimes to predict exactly what Armada's drafts are going to do, because it feels like Baskin and Scream like to just play whatever they feel like that game. But they also like to wait till the end. So I imagine that this is not for either one of those two, and that this is Homie, Geno, and Snoopy picking with these first 3 picks.
I think that this is also just Space Station trying to keep any of the pressure picks away that they can. I don't think that Homiefe was all that threatening on the Ryujin last
Not
game,
really,
but
no.
hey, before giving him an opportunity to participate, may as well take away a god that we know he tends to feel a little bit more comfortable on, although Agni, not a bad backup plan.
Not at all. Certainly a strong mage in his own right now, and that might give some room for him to have a better game here, for Homie to have a little bit more impactful game. I don't know that it hurt them particularly much, that Homie didn't get to do much. He was low in player damage, no real assist or kills until the end of the game, but didn't seem like Armada was missing much at all.
Well, I like these last couple of choices. The Odin, I think, is going to have some great lockdown potential, really keep everybody all together for Space Station to hopefully try and punish. But the one problem I do see here, outside of the Skadi, I don't find a lot of cage follow-up to be a possibility here for Space Station Gold. I think that they might struggle in terms of their damage output for whoever it is that they do get trapped inside of that Odin ring. At least when you factor in that's going to be a team fight based Odin, because I'm pretty sure that's for Uzzy in solo, and I don't see why a solo laner would be in dual lane super early on. Yeah,
probably not going to see them having him rotating over that early, as Thor comes in to round out the draft for Armada. Baskin's played it once before. Is it going to be the Baskin Thor yet again? Let's find out as we move into Game 2. Space Station and Armada. Tom and Aggro, you guys got the call.
Thanks, friends. Here we are, back at it again. Game number 2. It's me and Aggro.
It's us. And this time, Baskin playing the Ratatoskr. I'm kind of surprised that Space Station didn't take the Rat in the first pick slot. I mean, Armada banned it away. This is Mask's one of his best gods, if not his best god. Not that his NotGeno's bad by any stretch, but
Mask NotGeno is me. I'm a fan of the Mask NotGeno over the
you
Rat.
just love NotGeno.
Yes, because of the many things he brings. And Mask on NotGeno, I think it's incredible.
Give me 3 things NotGeno brings.
Slow, protection, debuff, stun, flicker wisp, big heal. I can keep going, bud.
Why ask for 3?
Well, I don't know how to count.
I'm sorry to hear that. That must make your life incredibly difficult. Oswaald and Mattypocket in trouble yet again. There's the horrific, but no sprint used by Matty. They're actually winning this trade. Good patience there from Mattypocket to know that he doesn't really need to use that relic in that position. Instead, just let him fight.
Yeah, really nice play there. Both mid laners soloing the red. Thor will not go. He'll contest a little bit. The left side still dealing with each other here. Meanwhile, Mask did lose the trade. Scream from behind. Gonna look for Chapo. Mask enough of a threat with that ring bounce for Scream to walk away.
Surprised that Matty starts the 1 in lane instead of the 3. Usually you'll see Artio start with the life tap and the dash. Don't know what he started in the last game. That might have actually been the same thing, but it helps you clear the wave a little bit better with less risk. It just doesn't hit as much of the wave like the dash or the 3 will hit the entire wave, but Skadi's clear is good enough that you can threaten positioning enough to use the 1 fairly effectively, but I don't know. I still feel like the 3 might have been the better call. It's a guaranteed route onto the Sylvanus or the Cernunnos. He's level 1. He can't dash away from you. It just lets you have actual kill potential in that lane.
Big fan of Uzzy's Odin as well. You know, for as long as he's played, Odin has always been one of his go-to characters. So I'm glad to see him on this. Leaning against Baskin is always a tall task, but Uzzy's certainly equipped to deal with it.
Odin, he's been playing it since even before I was playing with him many, many years ago during Season 2. He was playing it a lot.
Yep.
This is definitely a comfort pick for him, but honestly, so is the Chang'e. He's always been a fan of those kind of oddball picks. You know, he'll play a lot of Odin and things like that, but ideally, if he gets his way, he's playing Chang'e and Nuwa or Opwash or those sorts of things. That's just the style that Uzzy likes, is this not exactly tanky, but just really a mage with a lot of farm. That's what he likes to be.
Effective health, really, not just like raw tank, as you said. Chang'e has a way to mitigate, etc., etc. Early rotation, the Oracle's here. The dual lane will pick that up, no problem for Armada. Chapo one more time on the Janus. Homie on the long-range mage this time. I like the Agni, especially with the gameplay that we saw out of game number 1 for Homiefe, low on the damage. Agni obviously wants to deal damage like all of the mid lane mages, but can it get away with being low on the damage if you can be high on the crowd control numbers that we don't display, right? If you are doing low damage but routinely getting bomb stuns, routinely stunning people on the chase, your team can follow up, which is exactly what Armada needs to do here, then you're doing your job. So I do love the adaptation of Armada as a unit to put Homiefe on a more utilitarian character.
I do want to see him play more aggressively, though, in the early game, especially with a Bancroft's Talon Rush. If he's going for Mage's Blessing Bancrofts, after the boots, just for the quick power spike, I think that's fine, but overall, I still think that if you're rushing Bancrofts, you need to be utilizing a lot of that early damage. I know Paul's a big fan of the Bancrofts rush, but overall, I think you really need to be playing aggressively with it in order to make it worth it.
100% agree. I mean, the guy you brought up, if you put players on a chart, I think you're talking about two polar opposites. Homiefe and Paul. Paul's first name is aggression, right? Like, very different play styles. So, I like the character swap, but I'm with you. I would question the itemization, but we'll see how it all comes to fruition first and foremost.
Maybe he'll end up being aggressive with it this time around. Scream's now level 5. That means you have the option to play pretty aggressively because you know you've got help coming. You also have that semi-global in Ratatoskr as well, so there's going to be plenty of dunks coming from Armada. It's like the old, it's like we're watching an old Clippers game. It's going to be Lob City.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when they were good?
That was
For like a really short,
moment.
For a short amount of time.
DeAndre to Blake to the bottom of the league.
Isn't it crazy that Blake Griffin is like still really good and like changed his game? That blows my mind.
He jumped over a car once.
He did.
Oswaald used the ultimate. Shove Snoopy out of the way. Nice little duel there. Both players kind of playing that strongly, utilizing their characters to the best.
But Snoopy wins the trade because Oswaald had to use the purification beads, whereas Snoopy did not. I agree with Oswald's decision to play aggressively there. He looked at how low Snoopy's health or mana pool was and understood that he had a really good shot at actually winning that trade, but Snoopy had just enough mana in order to ult.
Mask goes in, doesn't know Scream is right behind him, and the ultimate right on the other side. Geno with a beautiful pull. Not good enough. Thor in the air, likely to land defensively. He'll do just that. First blood to Armada.
Geno goes, okay, you can sash me if you want. No hesitation at all. That we've all been in comms with someone who goes, kill this idiot for sashing me.
Yes.
And that is the right reaction to have in that position. And to Homie's credit, he has no hesitation either. As soon as that ultimate comes in, he's dropping bombs. He's right there ready for it. So that is much better from what we were hoping to see from Homie.
Which is something to be said, is that Homie, in these types of engagements, when you're on the enemy side of the field, that's a whole different conversation, but fights in the mid lane, that's something that Homie is very good at being the teammate to follow up there, which is why I think he has struggled in that jungle position for so long. The initiation factor, kind of a different story, but somebody's stunned, Homie's going to follow the call, and I like that play, so... Realistically, though, Scream just hiding in the cut was really what happened. Mask goes, ha ha ha, and Scream goes, ha ha ha, and then that's it.
Well, wouldn't Screams be one hand longer because he's getting the last one?
No, because since he does it second, he holds priority, and he just ha ha has.
I feel like Scream would be the one hang first because he's the one setting the trap. Like, he knows that he's got the foresight.
Right, but that's the way it works. Screams, haha, that goes on the stack first, and then it comes out in like reverse order, resolves. Get it?
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, it worked the first time.
Okay. I appreciate the attempt.
Actually falling out of my seat. King elchapo. On the mid lane mage.
Janus
coming out here with,
both games. Oh, bye, Oswaald.
A little bit of CDR. I'd like to see a lot of CDR, to be honest with you, on this Janus.
He went Chronos Pendant last game. I'd imagine that's where he's going to go here as well.
Exactly.
I do think that Chapo likes to play more utility-style Janus, and so CDR is a big part of that. You need to be able to ult often.
Well, Sash is going to miss as Mask comes through the tunnel. Wall's good. Mattypocket shows up as well. 2 players in Armada jerseys following up. The pull just barely off the mark. 4 members of Armada here in the duo lane. Homiefe will also make the rotation. Long way from home is Baskin. Uzzy's here, though. Chapo on the run. Mask a little faster. Dash, not good. Scream, walks away. Gets the red.
I like that Mask holds the ultimate for a long time. Obviously, you want to land it, but the patience is the right idea. He needed to wait until Uzzy got in position to actually help out the team.
Now stunned out, Uzzy surrounded in a bad spot, drops a ring, trying to jump over the wall, can't even get off the ground. And Baskin, a long way from that solo lane, gets the kill.
Both solo laners on the left side of the map pre-9 minutes. So you know that that's exactly where Armada wants to be aggressive, is on that side of the map. And look at Snoopy, he knows there's minions there, and he just still taking the fight. That'll chase out the ultimate from Oswaald, which puts out some really good damage, but just not quite enough.
Wild Hunt is on cooldown. Scream looking for the land. Looking for the land. Boom! Can't find the double tap, however. Ozzy running around in a circle. As soon as his hammer comes back up, he's toasted.
Ooh, the body block from Caldier, but Scream still has Talaria's. There's the hammer. It's only a matter of time, but good attempt by Oswaald. I think he played that about as well as he could have hoped. I think that once Snoopy used the Wild Hunt and played really aggressively in that moment, that should have been a warning sign to Oswaald. That should have been the alarms going off that something was fishy in that spot.
You don't make that play if you're alone. That's absolutely the key. Oswaald should have known. That's that game sense, right? You understand that. You talk to pro league players and high-end players like the guys on the field right now, and they talk to you about you can feel the jungler. You can feel the mid lane rotation. That's what they mean. It's not actually a spider sense. It's whether they realize it or not, it's information given to them by the opponent's playstyle. That absolutely is telling you what's in store for you. There's a Thor in the air landing on you. Back off.
And that's what the best players do, is they don't have a tell. They play those ganks really well, even when they're coming on their side. Snoopy, I think, did tell it a little bit with the way that he was playing, but Oswaald was still too committed to back up.
Well, with that in mind, I mean, Snoopy could have played that as aggressively as he wants. The range of the Thor, I mean, Oswaald could have full-on retreated and still died.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter if Snoopy forces Oswaald to back off or stay in or move left or move right. Scream is still going to get that kill. So fantastic positioning coming out from Armada. 4 zips so far. All towers on the board still stand 11 minutes in.
Another gank being set up on the left, but Scream's not going to go aggressive with even with Mattypocket here. Only level 8. Oswaald didn't have beads. I wonder if a stun still gets a kill in that position. Maybe Snoopy came out a little bit too early and scared Oswaald away. Because I think that Scream was looking to wall behind Oswaald from that position to guarantee the kill.
One of my favorite things about Thor is the wall, and it hasn't been Thor's moment for a while. I think Ratatoskr kind of took over for Thor. Similar kits, very different mentalities. But that wall is really the big difference between those two characters. And being able to wall off characters with dashes a la Mattypocket, that's a really, really big deal. And Skadi specifically as well. So utilize the geometry that you can add to the map, and that makes you a next level Thor player like Scream.
Well, why choose between Ratatoskr and Thor when you can just have both on your team? We've only...
also that.
Baskin, I don't even think has used the ultimate quite yet this game, so it's only a matter of time before he gets involved and starts dunking in. But already a much better adjustment from Spacestation. They don't fall behind nearly as behind early on.
Chapo launches the ultimate. May I call that a panic ult?
Yeah, I think so. He was worried about the pull coming from Geno, and he doesn't want to use purification beads. To be fair, if he gets pulled from that position, he's dead.
Right.
Because of bombs from Homie, and he's too far away from any of the walls.
Okay.
It feels bad to have to use it in that position, but he's dead if he gets hit. So
okay, I'll give it to him.
I can understand.
I'll give it to him. Uzzy and Baskin still battling it out. Baskin a little bit ahead thanks to the repeated invades coming out on the Ratatoskr. Fantastic job for Baskin being able to control the map. Screams up. Screams down. It's what we call a satellite ultimate. Getting global vision. Little bit tongue-in-cheek, but to be honest with you, not completely.
It helps. It does. He was hoping that Chapo would walk into the mid lane, but no such luck.
Exactly. Sash on a Snoopy, forces ult for ult. Now the turnaround, 2 players surrounding the Cernunnos. Math will get the easy kill there. Looking for the follow-up, and Armada retreats successfully. Great job by Armada to avoid. There's nothing that Spacestation can really do off of that kill, so good job killing Snoopy, and I'm not being facetious. You definitely want to keep that Kern down, especially looking at the reign of terror that Snoopy and Geno ran on last game. But there's nothing else beyond that kill. Armada maintains a 2K lead, 1,500.
Even with Uzzy's rotation over, Baskin's able to match it pretty well, but Uzzy's done a good job of leaving solo pretty often to make sure that everything's going well. And look at how well that Chapo and Uzzy are switching and making sure that no farm is going to waste. Uzzy moves towards mid in case a fight breaks out. Chapo, he doesn't have beads, so he's a little bit more scared to show up and be in that fight. So let him go to solo, pick up some waves. I can always ult over in order to affect the fight. That's really good map presence from both of those players.
That's just high understanding of the game. And something that, you know, one of the fun things about seeing the minor league talent sort of get elevated to this level is seeing that those finer points of the game is the understanding of the, on an intrinsic level, not just a basic level. So I'm glad to see that here. Mattypocket of the Artio. Looking pretty standard here. Across the way, a Lotus Crown for NotGeno. This is extremely aggressive, and it certainly will help Armada keep their foot on the gas.
It also helps if you're trapped in that Odin cage. Just get a lot of protections in that cage, because Wisps already gives you the protections, and even when you're not getting healed, actually I wonder if it'll trigger without it. I don't think it will.
No,
so maybe if he drops it right beforehand,
exactly,
that's going to be the only time. But if Geno's able to execute on that, then it really will help guys like Homie or like Snoopy survive through the cage.
I love seeing that. Geno buys the Onis, goes oops, hits the back button, and buys the Genji's guard. Oni Hunter guard, certainly a nice look, but very different mentalities. And I think this is, when you talk about itemization for specific characters, what you're looking at.
Mask finds the ultimate in the mid lane. Chapo there with the follow-up perfectly. Homiefe never gets a chance to press a button. Geno's pull is great onto Mask, but he gets the heal off.
Every single time. Fantastic play here from Geno. He'll even get the kill as he walks away with the wisps. The Phantom is strong as well. Uzzy's presence felt, not had. Baskin in the air for what seems to be the first time, looking for a target.
Oswald's the ideal one, but look at how many people are around. Seems pretty risky. He's gonna go for it anyways. Why is no one closer than that? So you can't be close enough to get knocked up at the same time, but that was too far away to leave Oswaald.
It's a small circle. It really is. Certainly can spread and coalesce, but not the choice here. 2 kills for Space Station. Armada find their 6th off of that Baskin kill. 2-0-1. So the solo lane rat has been a part of half of what Armada has been able to do so far. Scream, of course, 5 out of 6. Very strong map presence from everybody on the side of Armada, being able to rotate and be a part of multiple team fights.
That is the ideal situation, though, as Mattypocket gets caught doing mid camps he should not have been doing. Homie gets the credit for the punishment, and that actually opens up the Gold Fury. And that is the exact opposite of where I was going. So that fight in the mid lane is exactly how Space Station Gold drew up how they were going to win games.
Right.
Mask makes a really impressive mechanical play, recognizes he's in trouble, hits a really nice, beautiful Naja ult. Chapo, long-range snipe off of it, beautiful. That's how you get it done. But then Matty gets picked going for mid camps, and because of that, that's a free Gold Fury for Armada, and that puts Space Station a little bit more behind the 8 ball, where I really don't know that they can afford to be.
That said, this is the other perfect way that Space Station drew it up. Lock in somebody and just 4-man jump on him. Geno not feeling good after that. But again, just like the last time, nothing to follow up with.
Homie gets crushed again by the combo, but a beautiful 2-man stun from Scream. Looking for Chapo. Chapo doesn't have the relics, and Snoopy gets that easy cleanup. Scream making it look easy underneath that tier 1. That was nice.
What I love about that play is, so I don't know if Chapo, looking at the ward vision, Chapo didn't know Snoopy was there. So what happens is if Scream just says, okay, you dropped the threshold, I'm walking away, Chapo turns around, sees the hunter, maybe portals his way through the wall. There's another number of options that Chapo can do. Scream walks through the threshold and demands that Chapo pay attention to him, and then gets hit in the back of the head by Snoopy. That's I talk a lot about presence. You can affect a team fight without pressing any buttons outside of WASD, and that's exactly what Scream does right there, and just right from Snoopy, getting the kill.
Armada's up by a lot less than they were at this point last game.
Very much so.
An improvement from Space Station, but XP is still a major issue. Baskin's already level 20, 18 minutes in. Mask only level 15. Scream's only a little bit ahead, but there's a lead there, and both duo lane members have a lead as well for Armada. So you want to fight her on the mid lane now, because Chapo's the only one who's actually ahead of his lane opposition. Problem is Chapo has no relics, so he really can't fight for another 100 seconds.
Baskin looking for the wraparound. Mask keeping him at bay. 2 players collapsing onto Scream, but Scream doesn't really seem to care as he jumps right over him. Mid lane is going to be the focus for Armada, though. Carries on the left side, fighting their own fight, and Mask looking to be pulled into this.
Snoopy on the receiving end of Oswald's ult yet again, but a good route will get him out of that danger. Mask was lurking as well, but no blink for about 7 more seconds for Mask. I'm very surprised that Mask goes for Crusher instead of Brawler's Beatstick. They really needed that anti-heal. Uzzy's cage doesn't do very much. In fact, I think he may have missed that cage.
Is the healing really that of a problem right now?
I think so. I think that you end up needing that anti-heal pretty decently, if only because the Bancroft's in mid for Homie.
Scream in the air. Likely to land on these 2 players, Mask and Mattypocket. Could be 3, or could be none. I straight up, aggro, why did we not see a team fight? That seemed fantastic.
No beads for Homie, and Mask still at ult, so he's 1 sash away from getting insta-killed again.
Okay.
And you put yourself in a not particularly favorable spot with Homie dying instantly.
Good discipline from Armada, because this is a team that I think could make that play and decide not to. Good knock-up on a Mattypocket. He'll be knocked all the way down. Kill goes to Scream one more time. Baskin taking to the sky. Everyone else scattering. Oswaald uses the beads to get out of that one. Now walks through a portal. Nice job. Chapo leaving the door open. Big trouble as the cage gets dropped. And now Space Station need to look for this. But a Phantom gets Armada out of trouble one more time.
They barely even use it, though. I don't even think it was necessary. I don't blame Geno. You see 3 or 4 members of your team get caged. I'm smashing Phantom, but there was just no real follow-up from Space Station.
Unfortunate, really. Space Station, maybe a missed opportunity there. Certainly need to see Geno fall here. We need to see Geno go down. Baskin finds the kill. Uzzy versus Snoopy and Baskin here on the right-hand side. We'll be able to chase out. Here comes Mask. Beans will meet the ultimate, and Baskin will meet the jungler. Snoopy does get punished by Oswaald, but woo!
I don't know if Snoopy knew the whole cavalry was here because he actually turned to aggressively dash Scream up in the air. They're a little bit out of... Oswald's at least a little bit out of range. Wonder if they saw him out of the corner of their eyes from that position. Nice slow from Uzzy. Will cost him his own life, most likely, but gets Oswaald out of danger at the very least.
Jump. Oh, the blink! Uzzy with the man! Nope, nope. Baskin, another kill. 4-0-2.
He's trying his best.
Absolutely.
Good attempt.
4-0-2 for Baskin so far on the Ratatoskr. That solo is so interesting to me. So much of the kit tells you that it should be there. A lot of sustain, can absolutely shred protections, really nice application, but obviously a jungle. So I like characters that have multiple roles they can play. You're not stretching it. I don't think Rat solo is a stretch whatsoever.
His laning phase doesn't seem that great on paper, right? It doesn't have an ability that clears the wave particularly well, but he just fights you pretty well, and the cleave autos really
That's
help.
where I was gonna go.
He really needs that in order to be able to clear those solo waves, but Baskin's mostly damaged. He's got a breastplate, which is the really only pure defensive option. I really like what he's got going.
Ultimate pulled is the Gold Fury.
reset.
Only Fury, excuse me. Almost goes the way of Armada. Nice reset forced by Space Station. Now the jump forward as they look to track Geno. Baskin in the air, looking off screen. Mask already dead. Oswaald will follow suit. Snoopy, the culprit this time around. Chapel being chased by the jungler. Homiefe being tooled around by Uzzy. But here come the rest of Armada. Mattypocket in trouble. Baskin picks that one up. And Uzzy gets picked up by Mr. Geno.
And that is the worst Fury to get when you instantly lose the team fight. Oni Fury is the best Fury to get in the late game, in my mind. It's the best one to get when you've already got a lead because you get to push with, like, you have fire minions. When you all die right after the fact, literally, as it's now a deicide, a Scream got Chapo, the waves don't do anything for you because Armada gets to take whatever objective they want and then just spread out and clear these waves. Baskin already got the Oni wave in left. The Oni wave in right is right on the other side of this fire giant pit, and someone will be able to get that Oni wave in mid long before it ends up hitting the tower. So you don't even get the big benefit of the bigger Gold Fury person.
Right.
Not a particularly good situation for Space Station. Overcommit to the objective, and Armada just take the fight instead.
Yeah, the Oni Fury is absolutely, it's a very strong distraction. You are forcing your opposition to do homework, essentially. Okay, there's something cool happening on a Friday night. What if I just give you a paper? You've got to go do it. So you got to go tend to your lanes. You can't defend the fire. You can't be aggressive on the left side of the map. You have to take care of these minions. But like you said, I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'll write the paper. Sure.
You want to write my paper for me?
What's it on?
It's on weather cycles.
Nope. I'm a second floor student. I'll kill English and social studies. Science and math.
Is that like a thing, like it's always on the second floor, or is that just like your school? Is that how it was?
I'm not sure, but most places I've been, I see that the second floor is generally the soft arts. The first floor is more the hard arts, the hard sciences rather. STEM stuff on the first floor. Arts on
I don't
the
think it was that way for my school, but my school was kind of weird.
Weird? You guys all have iPads?
It had 3 floors.
We used to tell freshmen there was a pool on the third floor. That was the roof, and then we'd lock the door.
Our pool is on the first floor.
Oh, you had a pool!
Yeah, man. Boating unit was intense.
Boating. Boating.
We took kayaks into the pool.
I think if we put all of our monies together, we might have been able to buy a kayak.
One kayak. They weren't particularly nice kayaks. I'm not talking
It's
carbon.
still a kayak!
I'm not talking carbon fiber over here.
You could build a kayak out of carbon fiber?
Probably.
I thought it was all wood.
Well, you could build it out of wood too. It probably wasn't even wood. It was like plastic.
Well, Armada's lead is certainly built out of titanium here. Almost 20,000 above Space Station. They barrel down the mid lane. Caged up one more time is Uzzy. To no avail. Armada just walk away. Nice retreat. Right side. Well, here's Baskin. what a comical pan. Great
Yeah, that was
job,
perfect.
Doug.
Doug's on it right there. And it's also the noises from Ratatoskr too. He got it. I don't know if the commit there off the cage by Chapo's ultimate feels a little bit loose to me, if only because you know that they're going to Phantom off of it. You want to cage, bait the Phantom, and hope to live until cage is up again.
Well, Scream's going to land on top of Mask. Armada. Disciplined here. And again, I like this. I think it's very easy to just surge forward and go, we're 16 thou up, do it. But the discipline here prevents them from being all out and destroyed. Space Station trying to find the opportunity and looking for it, and might even having it. Oswaald gets one, and Uzzy gets another. Uzzy on the back line looking for Scream. Big damage on the jungler. But Baskin says no. Great portal by Chapo, but a little too late.
Needs use as well. Blink in Baskin, but Aegis was still good, and that buys Chapo enough time to get through space, and time comes out. Nice highlight attempt by Chapo, but a little bit short of that. Oswaald actually takes that portal that's still there. Scream's pretty low, as is Baskin, but they've got Fire Giant and healing from Geno.
Mask tries for the blink sash, won't find it. Players retreat and sit down one more time. 19-8, and Armada up a whole bunch.
Ooh, Mask just got the back off in time. Baskin was hunting for him. But that's exactly what I was talking about. You're trying to get the cage, get a good enough cage that you're forcing Phantom.
Exactly.
And then you wait for them to Phantom, and then you hope that you live long enough for the next cage. That's exactly what Uzzy did. Uzzy found a good enough cage underneath the mid Phoenix that Geno had to use Phantom, and then a phenomenal cage on the left-hand side.
That was right in between on that corner?
Yep, got Homie, got Snoopy. Believe he may have gotten Scream in there even.
Yep.
That is exactly what you're looking for. And then there was enough follow-up there from Space Station, and the fact that the Phoenix was contributing to your damage. That was exactly what Space Station needed. The problem is, are you going to be able to get that again, where now Armada doesn't have to worry about getting your mid and right side Phoenix. Your initial cage is going to be on the left Phoenix, and then the next cage is you're saving it for next game? I mean, it's I don't know.
This isn't Paladins. Your ult doesn't carry over from round to round. Fire Giant started. The EFG, by the way. Enhanced Fire Giant. This will, this is one of my favorite changes.
Did you hear my name for Enhanced Fire Giant? I named him.
What is it, aggro?
Hue.
Why is it Hue?
Because he has a different hue to him, like a color.
So often in this booth that aggro and I share, I get this devastating look from aggro when I say something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This is my turn to reciprocate the devastating look.
Imagine thinking Hue's a bad name for the Enhanced Fire Giant. That's crazy to me.
See, that's the problem, is you are so absurdly confident in all the stupid things you do.
Uh-huh.
My God.
Well, no one else is going to be confident.
How did you get this far?
So I had to do it myself.
That's the story of aggro's console career. Got him!
Great. The one time I don't Hindu man myself, I get Hindu man. Aren't you a little worried that after saying something savage, people will confuse you with the Savage? Like, that's his brand.
That's what he's known for.
He's kind of got this monopoly around it. So, just something to watch out for. I don't know.
Eesh, I don't know. The years of savageness.
Savagery.
Savageness is better because it's Hindu man.
Okay. I'll sign off on that.
There it is. He's out there on an island.
Ian Savage?
Yeah. Like the island of Savage. It's out there in the Pacific Ocean. Don't look it up. 30 minutes in, Armada find themselves doubling, and then some, the kill count. 15 thou above Space Station Gold.
Gem of Isolation for Geno in his last item slot because that sounded kind of fun.
So, Gem of Isolation on the supports, I love it as a 6th item. Sell your booties, buy a gem, and I maintain using that last spot for utility Slick. This is just because he's literally 15,000 above the opposition.
Ooh, nice ultimate from Mask. He caught Homie in that. The follow-up is not necessary from Chapo because Oswaald had enough. Mask plenty of damage of his own. Left side Phoenix still up, but Mask is not. Baskin took care of that, but Baskin sold all his defense. He's pretty squishy. He takes quite a bit of damage, but not quite as much as Mattypocket, who falls to Snoopy.
Middle lane, Bird down one more time. Left side, Phoenix also suffering the same fate. 3 players left to play defense, and Armada slowly shifting.
Right side Phoenix still up, but I don't know if they're going to need that right side Phoenix. No damage from Homie, so they don't have a ton of AoE from this position. No ultimates from anybody who's alive, but Baskin blinks in, misses, and dies to the fountain pretty quickly.
90% on the Titans so far. Big stun coming out from the Thor player. Scream gets 1. Scream looking for the second. Will have to Aegis. And the Titan's still very strong. Oswaald gets the kill, even though the Titan will wind up with that one. Double kill for Oswaald. Again, shoutouts to the Titan. NotGeno going to find the root, and he's going to try and fight the carry.
He does have a Gem of Isolation. He might actually be able to kill Oswaald here.
The knockup. Here comes Matty. That be that. Last time, I commended Armada for their discipline. I thought they played very well. I thought they played very intelligently. I thought they played very respectfully by making sure they didn't go in a little bit too soon there. This time, they dive the fountain and die, and I will say no such thing.
Yeah, Armada did that a couple weeks ago as well. They seem to have a tendency to have a little too much fun in endgame scenarios.
Sure.
But they end that game if Homie's alive, no matter how much they try.
Exactly.
And that's credit to Mask for finding a really critical Blink ultimate. And that's before he's even finished his Deathbringer. So once Mask has that, I don't know if he's going to need any extra follow-up damage. At this point, though, I wonder if it's worth selling Runeforged, because remember, Runeforged passive doesn't work on Naja ultimate. It's a special type of CC that isn't counted for Runeforged.
But it does work off of the ring bounce.
It does.
And
so
you're ring bouncing almost every time to begin the fight because of the protection debuff.
But you're blink ulting the beginning
That's
of every
fair.
fight, so you're not getting that Runeforged passive. I think the best argument is that it's 55 power.
And I was just going to follow up, but also,
yeah,
it's 55 dumb power.
It's quite a bit. I'm trying to think of actually a better item for him to get for pure power.
Got it.
He already has it.
Void Shield. We could laugh and say Shifter Shield.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Shifter Shield is a lot of power.
It is. It's more power, so you could go that if you're really trying to one-shot.
I think I stay Runeforge.
I think I do as well.
I stay Runeforge. I don't even care about the passive. It's HP, 55 power, and that's. I'm a Naja on defense. I want the 55 power, and I want to be a little tanky. Void Shield, I think, is the only conversation that you have there, and I think the Runeforge is a little bit more offensive, and Mask is he's the shooter on this team. So, you know, L1, L2, etc. He needs to be doing it.
Chapo.
That's cute.
I kind of like this.
Yep. That's cute.
Oh.
That's less cute! What are you... Unstable's not killing him there.
Wait. Did Baskin land on the... Because Baskin's blink is down. I think Baskin landed elsewhere and then blinked into the purple in order to bait Chapo to go through and back.
I don't think so.
His blink is down. Oh, no, he blinked on Chapo in the first place.
Yep.
I'm trolling.
Yeah,
Chapo's trolling harder.
That was... I'm trying to figure out a reason. I'm sorry, Chapo. DM me, man. Uzzy, jumping away from the fight. Nice cage. You know, looking for a pull. Misses one. A rare miss for the Sylvanus player. Spacestation Gold, losing a lot of HP. Snoopy with a beautiful ultimate. And Mattypocket deleted by Homiefe. Certainly a bigger impact here in game number 2. And again,
the ice.
That's the pull. That's the pull.
That's so
the pull.
nasty.
Geno has had that for a while. And it's so impressive to watch. Half HP on the Titan, baby.
That was sick. He's on Skadi ice, sliding, and still yanks mask. By the way, we did get word that Baskin didn't blink on him in the first place. I wasn't trolling like I knew I wasn't. And he landed outside and then blinked in and big brained him.
I would have much rather you be wrong.
Well, can't win them all. That's what I always say.
Armada certainly can. 2-0 this time around. Spacestation Gold just barely keeping up. Fantastic job from Armada one more time. And all jokes aside, just something we're going to be saying.
Yeah, Armada's the best team in North America. There's really no bones about it. Space Station, I think, did take some small steps to looking a little bit better today.
I agree.
But I think we knew that this was a David versus Goliath, and David forgot his slingshot sort of matchup.
Fantastic job from everybody involved. Back to the desk.
Time to break it down. Space Station versus Armada goes about how we all thought it would. A 2-0 for Armada, and they looked pretty darn good doing it. Finch and Taco here to try and break down what we saw. And what I saw is that Baskin and Screammmmm are still very good at the game, but it turns out that there's some good players on the team that are with them, so they're a pretty good unit.
Well, we get to see flashes of hope from the rest of Armada when Baskin and Screammmmm aren't already killing everybody or removing everybody that could possibly be a threat from the field. But honestly, we were just talking about it. I was really impressed by Geno's gameplay on this Sylvanus. I think he had a lot of really great pools to disrupt some of the initiations out of Spacestation Gold, and a couple of well-timed ultimates as well early on that I think really shut down Mask when he was looking for some of those setup opportunities on the Ninja.
No, I'm right there with you, and we're definitely going to sing the praises of the rest of this team because they are good, but it's hard to not make the A story in the headline that Baskin and Screammmmm are just this nutty, and they're picking stuff that lets them go off and show how good they are. Rat and Thor, you saw the Pele and the Camazotz in game number 1. What these two dudes are doing is prioritizing these picks that give them an opportunity to make the maximum individual impact in these games, and then they're making the maximum individual impact. Oh, he did land outside and try and blink in for the kill. That's exactly what he tried to do, and it was almost sick.
He probably had him either way, but yeah, the portal back in there.
I like it. That was suspect, yes.
It was a little bit sus, but hey, I mean, maybe Jeppo was expecting the blink over the wall, 200 IQ, possibly.
Okay, so he was trying to outplay the outplay.
He was trying to outplay the outplay of the outplay.
Right, and unfortunately ended up outplaying himself. But I think that we did see some of what they could do. What I'm seeing from Space Station is that in Week 1, they made some improvements to the way they played the early game. And in Week 2, some improvements to the late game. And then here in Week 3, some adjustments, not letting the snowball happen. They got to find some kind of way to get all these patchwork pieces to line up at the same time.
I think that's just going to come from the team sitting down and taking a moment really to review things and make sure that they can get their communications cleared up and also just trying to find a draft and a play style that's going to be most efficient for them.
I think you also, just like you said, do want to make sure we point out that Armada showed that they're a team that's stacked from top to bottom. Geno played very well in that Sylvanus in that game as well, hitting some pretty sick pulls and some great Ratatoskr as well.
Yeah, have to appreciate it. I mean, when the whole squad can look as clean as Armada, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if some of these SPL teams have started to already take a gander over what these guys have to offer. But, hey, that's all, for the future.
That's right. We'll see what ends up happening with them. But this Armada team, at least for right now, is certainly looking like the strongest one. That's going to do it at least for these two teams. We still have one more set that's going to be coming you all's way. It's been an impressive day so far. Hard to believe we still have one more set, but we absolutely do. Make sure that you don't go anywhere. Make sure that you stick around. Make sure that you don't leave. Come right back here at mixer.com/SmiteGame to watch that final SML game.